The Championship is just so crazy, and once again, it has not failed to deliver at the highest stage and at the crunch point of the season. With the penultimate weekend nearly done, there's one crucial game relating Bristol City still to go. The playoff race is still wide open. The title race is still all to play for, and the relegation battle has just opened up a lot more than we thought. With 5 teams in the playoff race, 5 teams in the relegation battle, and obviously the title race being fought valiantly between Burnley and Leeds. An absolutely crazy division, and it just might have the most ridiculous of endings. We'll talk briefly about tomorrow night's game for Bristol City at Ellen Road, where it is a pivotal game for Bristol City. Maybe not in terms of results, in a result tomorrow, and whatever happens at Ellen Road tomorrow, maybe a little bit of feeling of a free hit. Still a lot of permutations, a lot of sort of factors going into it from both Leeds' perspective and City's perspective. Leeds already promoted. Congratulations to them. There'll be party atmosphere at Ellen Road. A sense of expectation, perhaps, from the Leeds United faithful of, playing aside in fifth. There's quite a bit of points disparity and maybe a lot of quality disparity in the two sides. Maybe there's an expectation of Leeds United going and winning that game, especially off the back of Burnley winning so comfortably at QPR yesterday to put the pressure on in terms of the title race. I think the one thing that I was grasping onto was maybe a little bit of complacency setting in from Leeds, and that's no sort of critic of them as players or the manager or the club or whatever it is. I think just maybe with the promotion already being confirmed, with that being the main objective, first, second, whatever, doesn't matter, just get over the line. I think maybe a sense of complacency, maybe a little bit of standards dropping. That hasn't been the case with Burnley, as evidenced by their win at QPR. So they've put 5 goals past a side in QPR in mid-table, not much to play for, but Burnley going there and doing the job really professionally. They're 32 games undefeated. There's a real incentive for both sides to go and win the championship title. Daniel Farke, if he did win the title, all times he'd have been promoted would be by winning the title. Parker would win the title for the first time if he did manage to do it with Burnley. So there is incentives for both managers, both football clubs. I just had, maybe that's one thing I was hanging on to, that Bristol City could go out there and maybe the door was slightly jarred for Bristol City to go out there and get something at Ellen Road. Maybe that might not be the case, and the standards is definitely very high for Leeds in response to that Burnley game yesterday. It's already going to be a really difficult game for Bristol City. We know that. It's not been helped by our injuries, especially in the defensive areas. Mark Sykes out injured. Cameron Pring is now very much out injured, and Manning has said that probably for the last 2 games of the season and probably even the playoffs if we do manage to find a way to get in there. It's such a miss because we lose a lot of sort of pace, a lot of defensive recovery runs with Pringy, and a little bit of attacking quality when he's not on that side. And those overlapping runs from centre back are quite important, and him not being there does worry me a little bit. Hayden Roberts will probably be the man to come in on the left hand side of a back three alongside Zach Viner and Rob Dickey. We saw Viner move to the left hand side of a back three against Sunderland for a while. I'm not sure he does that, to be honest, Manning. I think it will be Hayden Roberts as seemingly trying to fit him in for that game. Would I throw Elijah Morrison in? Absolutely not. I think he's a good player. I think there's some promise there, but not away at Ellen Road. Not at this point of the season when it's absolutely crunch time. And I know there's some reservations about Hayden Roberts within the fan base and with myself, to be quite honest, but I think him at the moment probably a little bit of a better option than Elijah Morrison. And also Elijah Morrison going into the team would probably mean Tanner moving into a centre-back role, where he might be a little bit more comfortable, to be fair. McCrory moving out from the left wing-back role, where he's actually been quite impressive, and we've had a goal threat when he's coming from left wing back for arriving at the back stick. And that would mean Elijah Morrison had to play left wing back. I'm not sure I want to disrupt that a hell of a lot, so I'd keep that sort of main core structure there. I'd just put Hayden Robertson as a stopgap or the replacement for Campering. Naki Wells might be another sort of player we might look to put out this game. Sinclair Armstrong might come in. Now, Naki Wells has been mighty impressive all season, unbelievable, like completely defied expectations. This might not be the type of game for him. Naki Wells incredibly good holding the ball up in games where we have more of the ball, or possessions even or whatever. He does really, really well in terms of getting in front of defenders, putting himself about and doing really well in terms of that side of things. He started the Easter doubleheader, did really well, and didn't looks like he's come through unscathed. I don't know if he's picked up anything afterwards. Key might come out. Think Armstrong's directness and maybe ability on the counter attack might be a little bit more useful. I don't know. You tell me down in the comment section below. Mehmeti was ineffective against Luton. George Earthy might come in, but apart from that, despite the loss at Luton, where it was 3-1, it was a disappointing display. I don't think tinkering around a lot at this point in the season is what we need to do. I don't think that's what will happen either, because we've been on a really good run before that. I think it's 2 defeats in the last 13 games in the Championship, which is really impressive. So I'd keep a large sort of balance of the core that's been so good for recently in the team, and hope that's enough to get something at Ellen Road. I think it's going to be really difficult for Bristol City to go there and get something. So for that reason, I think with the Leeds being at it, probably with obviously the Burnley thing in their background of they've won, we have to win to kind of keep the pressure on and probably win the title. They'll need to win their game. Last home game of the season for Leeds, raucous atmosphere. I think it's going to be really difficult for Bristol City to go out there and get something. So for that reason, I will go for a Leeds United win. I think it'll be tight. I think it'll be close, but I will go for a 2-1 Leeds win, which would be a repeat of last season's score at Ellen Road. Where Cal Naismith scored from a corner, if I'm remembering rightly, and Joel Perrell scored twice, maybe. I think all of the factors and the fact that the title is pretty much on the line at home for Leeds, I think they'll do the job over us. I don't think it'll be a hell of a problem for Bristol City. I don't think it's going to be a massive issue, but that will put a lot of pressure on that go-home game against Preston, which might be a good thing, might be a bad thing. Well, we'll find out in a week's time. But that is my score prediction. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Now, let's have a look at Bristol City's competitors, who are all trying to catch Bristol City in 5th. If I can edit properly, this is the Championship playoff race as it stands going into the final weekend, with 1 game to go, obviously. Bristol City just need 3 points to confirm a playoff place. That's all they need. That's all is required. That will definitely guarantee it. We might not pick up 3 points and might still get into the playoffs, whether that's 5th or 6th. Might still get in there. Coventry are the team directly below Bristol City with a point fewer. And currently, as things stand, the goal difference is +4 in Bristol City's advantage on Coventry, +8 on Millwall, +3 on Blackburn, and it's actually -2 on Middlesbrough. So Middlesbrough have the best goal difference out of the lot. The problem with Middlesbrough is that they're 3 points behind Bristol City, and they quite frankly need to win at Coventry on the final day, which is what makes this playoff race even more exciting, because lo and behold, Coventry play Middlesbrough at home on the final day for pretty much a straight shootout in terms of getting into 6th. I say that because Millwall have got to go to Burnley, and a similar thing with Bristol City and Leeds. Maybe we see a little bit of a standard dropping from Burnley in terms of compared to what they've been putting up for 44 games beforehand, but the fact they've gone to QPR and won 5-0, kept another clean sheet, looked really dominant, and just completely wiped the floor with Rangers. Now they're back at Turf Moor. They've been so strong, haven't lost a game at Turf Moor this season. So for Millwall to go there, they'd need to realistically win the game. I think that's going to be a giant ask, and I think that's going to be really, really difficult. Similar thing with Blackburn, because they go to Sheffield United and Bramall Lane. Now, that might be a slightly nicer fixture for Blackburn, because Sheffield United over the course of the season have been worse than Burnley, but Blades did go to Stoke on Friday night and win. They look like they're preparing for the playoffs, and they look like they want to carry momentum into the playoffs. They might play a strong team. They might play an AB team. They might play a very weakened team. that Chris Wilder's a funny old manager. He might do anything he wants. So might be slightly more opportunity for Blackburn to go and win the game. But again, the problem for Blackburn is they're 2 points behind Bristol City and they're a point behind Coventry, who they want to catch immediately. And again, for Borough, they've got the goal difference, but they've not got the points, which is the most important thing at this point in the season. They're 3 points behind Bristol City. They're 2 points behind Coventry. If they win against Coventry, they'll definitely leapfrog the Sky Blues. How likely that is interesting. It might not well happen, but they'd need a favour from both Sheffield United and from Burnley. They would really need both Blackburn and Millwall not to win their games because of the superior goal difference to Millwall. So if Millwall draw at Burnley, let's say, as long as Middlesbrough win, they're in, and as long as Blackburn don't win, they're in as well. So the door is open for Borough as long as they win, and the probability suggests that with the difficult fixtures that both Blackburn and Millwall have, it's going to be a really difficult ask for both of them to get in there, or one of them to get in there, because they'll have to ultimately just win their games. But the thing for Middlesbrough going for them is they'll definitely leapfrog Coventry, and they probably will leapfrog both of them as well. Whether they leapfrog Bristol City or not, we'll talk about that right now. Just seriously sort of crunch time, and it's got my nerves going a little bit. For Bristol City, I've run through all the possible results we could win, lose, draw, whatever. If we win, definitely in there. We've definitely in the playoffs, and we'd definitely confirm 5th place as well. So we would play Sunderland if we do win against Preston. If we draw at home to Preston, that would mean that for us to go out of the playoffs, there would need to be a Millwall win, there would need to be a Coventry win, and that would mean we're 7th. That would mean we're out of the playoffs. And for Blackburn to overtake us, they would need to go and beat Sheffield United by 4 goals to nil, really, by 4 goals, because the goal difference is not in their favour. And their goal scored is not in their favour either. So they'd need to go to Bramall Lane and win by 4 goals to nil. So if Millwall go to Burnley and win, and Coventry beat Middlesbrough, then we are out of the playoffs. And then Borough can't catch us because that would be a 4-point difference. And even if they do win at Coventry, that would be great for us actually, because they can't catch us. If we lose at home to Preston on the final day, 20th place Preston, by the way, who we'll talk about in a minute, compared to in terms of relegation battle, we would need Coventry and Middlesbrough really to draw in terms of keeping 5th. Coventry winning wouldn't be the worst thing, but we would also need Blackburn and Millwall not to win their games. And is that a likely outcome even if we do win against Preston? Probably, maybe. So is 6th place still on if we do lose? Probably. Yeah, probably, because if Middlesbrough, so if we lose against if we lose against Preston, Coventry and Middlesbrough draw, the goal difference could still work in our favour in terms of retaining 5th. That would need to happen. But yeah, we'd need Millwall to win, and then we'd need Blackburn to win if we had to. Sorry, we need just one of them to win to go out of there. Really nerve-wracking stuff, really tense stuff. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below if you think Bristol City are going to get into the playoff places. Yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Let's have a look at the relegation battle in the Championship, because this is also equally as crazy, if not even more crazy than the playoff battle in the Championship this season. 24th, Cardiff officially relegated. They are 5 points behind Luton with a game to go. They've been relegated after their 0-0 draw against West Brom at home. Cardiff are down. There won't be a 7-side derby in the Championship next season. Plymouth are all but down because of their goal difference. Unfortunately, they're on minus 36 of their goal difference. We just compare the teams on 49 points, the teams they can catch. Derby minus 8, minus 11 Preston, minus 22 for Luton, minus 10 for Hull. The closest team they can catch in terms of goal difference is Luton, and that would need a 14-goal swing 15 goal swing, really, maybe, for their goal. I haven't looked at their goal scored, but yeah, that would require a hell of a turnaround, and they play Leeds at home, who are probably going to be gunning for the title, so a win isn't completely guaranteed either. So I think Plymouth are up and down. The real sort of drama and the real permutations begin at Hull and all the way down up to Stoke after Oxford confirmed safety. Congrats to them. Stoke are on 50 points. Derby, Preston and Luton are all on 49 points, and Hull on 48 points. Hull played Derby this weekend. They lost 1-0 to a Nat Phillips header in the 84th minute. Derby got away with the 3 points, and it is such a killer, such a dagger to Hull's safety hopes, and they are really now really in the mire. And it looked like Hull were going to be safe for a while, didn't they, under Sellers? I remember they came here a little while ago. They were really well organised after they went down to 10 men. They really battered us for about 10 minutes, but they were really well organised after they went down to 10 men. That was like, these guys will be fine. They've got too much quality about them. The funny thing for Hull is, if they win at Pompey, they're safe, because Derby play Stoke. So, as long as Hull win, so let's say Derby win, well, they'll go above Stoke. If Stoke win, they'll go above Derby. If Stoke and Derby draw with each other, which might not be the worst thing for both of them, well, they'll go above both of them because of the goal difference in working in Hull's favour. So Hull do have a clear incentive going into the last game against Pompey on the final day, but they just have to win and they're safe. As mentioned, Luton, Preston, Derby, all on 49 points. Derby have got their head-to-head against Stoke. Preston, maybe have the hardest game out of the lot, where they go to Bristol City on the final day. Luton go to West Brom on the final day. That is also a tricky fixture, but Albion have got nothing to play for. So, again, you can interpret that in one or two ways, but that might be an opportunity for Luton. Luton have been in sensational form. In fact, most of these teams down here have been in really good form. Derby have been in outstanding form since John Eustace came in. I think they've got 20 points in their last 10, which is equivalent to what Sheffield United have been pulling up all season. Hull have not been bad. Hull have not been bad. I've just got to reiterate, they've not been bad. They've got 48 points after 45 games. Normally, maybe the sort of scene is changing in terms of relegation battle. Maybe it's not, point per game to survive anymore. That's a conversation for another day. But they've not been bad, and they're in the relegation zone. They've been dragged in. They've lost key head-to-heads pretty much all season, really. They've lost to Cardiff away. They lost at home to Luton. They lost yesterday against Derby. They've lost some key head-to-heads, Hull, and that's caught up with them. Luton they've pulled out 3 wins in a row, and they've really sort of stepped up their form. They're performing a lot closer to what we expected from them at the start of the season. Preston, though, they've been the ones that've been caught in all of this, haven't they? Because they were miles clear. They looked like they were safe. They looked like they were gonna sort of finish mid-table, sort of bottom half, and Heckingbottom's done a good job to steer them out of it. But they've really been caught into all of it. Now, that might be a good thing for Bristol City. That might be a bad thing, because obviously the confidence in that Preston dressing room will be very low. But now that the reality is set in of, right, we need to win, guys, that might push a little bit more out of them. That might give them that extra 10% to go and win the game. I honestly can't call it. I think Stoke will be fine, because I think a lot will have to go wrong for Stoke to go down, because they need to lose, so they'd be overtaken by Derby. They'd need Hull to win, so they'd be overtaken by them. That would mean Hull on 51. They'd need Luton to win because of the goal difference, and a draw for Preston might be enough to overtake Stoke. So they'd need a lot to go against them, wouldn't they, Stoke, to get relegated? So I think Stoke are fine, even if they do draw, which I think might not be a bad thing for Derby either. If they do go draw 50 points, how likely is it all of them below? Pretty much all of them have to win below them. Unlikely. If Hull don't get anything at Pompey, this relegation battle's over. So Hull have to make sure they go to Pompey and at least get a point, at the very least, because the goal difference does work for them, apart from Derby, and maybe even slightly Preston to a certain extent, but Preston have to go to Bristol City and win. How likely is that? I don't know. But yeah, a really intriguing relegation battle now near the bottom. Again, get your thoughts in the comment section down below. Who's going down from the Championship? I honestly can't call it. The one thing I'm slightly confident on is Stoke, and I think they will be fine. I think Luton will be fine. I think they will be fine. I think they'll do enough to get over the line. They've been in really good form. They've got a lot of quality. They were outstanding against Bristol City, and they were pretty good against Coventry as well. So I think they'll be fine. I think they'll get out of it. Their away form has been picked up as well lately, so I think they'll go to West Brom and probably do the job. Preston, I'm really concerned about because I don't see them coming here to winning. Quite frankly, that might sound a bit arrogant. I just don't see it. So they might very well get dragged into it. Who I don't know. You tell me down in the comment section down below. Who do you think is going down from the EFL Championship? Right, that's it. That's the sort of big overall preview of what's going to happen in the Championship this season. Setting the scene for what is going to be an epic final day in the Championship, and also hopefully an unbelievable day at Ellen Road from a Bristol City persuasion. Maybe a day that confirms top 6 place for Bristol City. Maybe that's very optimistic of me, isn't it? But yeah, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Subscribe for more Bristol City content. Like to sort of spread the word. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Keep safe, and I'll catch you all later. Cheers.